While the Atal Setu, also known as the Mumbai Trans-Harbour Sea Link, will be inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi tomorrow, what is remarkable is that this will be India's longest sea bridge. The 22-kilometer long bridge includes a sea link and viaducts on land and has been built using 1,77,903 metric tons of steel and 5,04,253 metric tons of cement. This engineering marvel stands 15 meters above the sea level, and we all know that Mumbai is a city plagued by traffic snarls, and this bridge will now help reduce the travel distance by 30 kilometers and shall save about an hour of time spent commuting. Apart from being a boon for Mumbai, it shall also help facilitate the economic integration of the neighbouring Raigad district into Mumbai's ecosystem. Well, this project has been long overdue, envisaged all the way back in 1962. This vision has taken 60 years to be brought to life, folks. Since the idea was conceived, it took the Maharashtra government close to 34 years to initiate a feasibility report of the project in 1994. Additionally, the project was stuck behind red tape for another decade before the study was updated in 2004 and tenders were called in 2006, almost 20 years ago. In 2017, the project was revived with the MMRDA signing an agreement with Japan International Cooperation Agency, which has provided development loan assistance of Rs 15,100 crores for this project. And after this work on the project commenced in April 2018, the bridge is all set and all ready to be opened up for public use. But of course, before we slip into a discussion with the panelists, joining us, let's take a look at this video showing the splendor of this marvelous creation. All right, to talk more about this wonderful news coming out of Maharashtra, joining us on the show is Joyita Basu, who's with me in the studio. Mohammad Ali Shah, defense expert, also joins us on the program. Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, with us on the program as well. Joyita, I'll begin with you. Well, we'll get into the splendor and the glory and of course the facilitation that this bridge is going to be rendering to the people of Maharashtra and of course Mumbai and Raigad. But the fact of the matter is, when of course you heard my opening monologue, 60 years it has taken us to get something done which is so basic, which could have been done. All it needed was the will. Is this bridge also a testament to what the government has done for the entire country, as a microcosm?
Well, the thing is that it is a very specific example. It also took, I think, 75 years or close to 75 years to get rid of Article 370. And it also, I think, took, around, again, 75 years to build the Ram Mandir. It has taken decades and decades to do so many things in this country. So, for example, to get rid of things like triple talaq. It has taken, so the whole point is that it's all about the intent, about the will. When it comes to infrastructure, comes to laws in general, think of the number of thousands of colonial era laws that have been got rid of. So, this is something that you have to give it to the government, whether you like the government or not, whether you vote for them or not. But the fact of the matter is that in the last 10 years, a lot has happened. And when it comes to infrastructure, I don't think there is any government that has been taking the kind of steps that the BJP-led NDA government has been taking. Even during the time of Atal Bihari Vajpayee and in the time of Mr. Modi, things have really taken off. So I think, you have to give it to them. As I said, if you support them or not, I mean, all of us are the beneficiaries of the kind of infrastructure push that the country has got, and why not? When you are looking at India, you are right now one of the top 5 economies in the world. You are supposed to be one of the top 3 inside perhaps the next couple of years. You need to match that claim with the infrastructure, and until and unless there is infrastructure, every infrastructure development, it creates jobs, it creates an ecosystem. So this is why, which takes the country forward. So this is all part of it.
Gautam, where do you stand on this? And of course, another detail about this stellar construction is that this bridge is not going to be allowing scooters and motors and vehicles that are of course smaller in nature and perhaps could slow down the traffic, Gautam, which is likely to move at speeds of over 100 kilometers an hour. In terms of how this is going to be facilitating economy and growth, this is a huge addition to Mumbai, of course, which is also considered to be a very prominent, a very eminent sort of tranche when it comes to India's overall productivity and economy.
This is a proud moment when we have finally arrived at the opening of this bridge, 22 kilometers long, over the sea, 50 meters above it. It's marvelous. But if you look at, and going on from what Joyita just said, the entire period from 2014 till now, the 10 years, has been fueled by enormous investment in infrastructure all over the country. And this has had a dual effect. One is all the benefit of this infrastructure, which is becoming more and more abundant and apparent. And the second part is it has pumped up the GDP and kept it at a high level throughout the period. Manufacturing, which is at 10-12%, and the intent is to take it to 25%, is a slow burner. Exports have grown. Agriculture has produced exports as well. So many things have done it, but this kind of investment in roads, tunnels, bridges, the railways is what has actually pumped India up to 5th position in the world and heading towards the 3rd. So we are beneficiaries of all this. The other thing is implementation of infrastructure. Many of these things, as you pointed out, this was thought of in 1962. I've heard about it all my life. I used to live in Bombay for over a decade. So it's something that we've known about, but it looked like a fairy tale considering that nothing really moved. In the initial years where there was reasonable stability under the Congress in Maharashtra, it was one thing. Things were quite clean, the BEST worked, and so on. Later on, it went into more and more chaos and more sort of richness amongst the slums. And the slums grew, and the law and order situation deteriorated. That is Bombay for you. All over the country, the effect of this kind of development, it's not a compromise. In the old days, everything was second class, sort of Soviet influence, the excuse being we are poor, we cannot do things properly, this is as much as we can afford. All that is gone. Now we are working very hard and very credibly to becoming a developed nation by 2047. The per capita has doubled, will double again. These are all believable things. And when that happens, consumption goes up, this road will be used. It costs 250 rupees, I'm told, to cross this bridge. I think it'll be paid in spades. It's actually a very small amount if you compare similar things internationally, where tolls are many times higher because the load on such roads is much, much lower. Populations are lower. It's the same reason why our data is amongst the cheapest in the world, with over 1 billion smartphones in people's hands. It goes on and on. It is a very, if you like, fertile and fortunate period. We expect the economy to go from 4 trillion to 10 trillion in a matter of 7 years. It is something to comprehend and digest. Vineet.
All right, Major Mohammad Ali Shah, your thoughts on this wonderful news coming in. Obviously, no bikes, autos on India's longest sea bridge will be allowed. This, nevertheless, Ali, is a testament to India's growing push towards facilitating the common man in making India a great, a powerful, a top 3 economy, a vision which the Prime Minister also regularly and so very often envisages and talks about. He spoke about it, very recently in Gujarat as well, just yesterday.
100% Vineet, you are bang on there. You are absolutely right. And it is great news for the nation, and heartiest congratulations to the entire country for having such a wonderful connectivity now in Mumbai. And I was in Mumbai. I've spent many years in Mumbai. In fact, when the Worli Sea Link was inaugurated, everyone rejoiced. It was like, wow, it was, and could connect you very, very easily. Now, this will actually reduce a whole lot of travel time. It will from 2 hours to just 20 minutes. So you can imagine, for everyone to connect with this, I'll say, if you have to go round something, well, if you have to go as the crow flies, it will be much, much simpler. Now, this entire 21.8 kilometer stretch, in fact, that has got, that's made with advanced Japanese technology, that has 16.5 kilometers marine section and 5.5 kilometers elevated road on land. So most certainly, and in fact, we would be one of the 3rd countries, I would say, in the world to have this. Only country that I can think of is the Hangzhou Bay Bridge in China, which is 36 kilometers long, and the King Fahd Causeway in Saudi Arabia, which is 26 kilometers long. I have had the privilege of going on the King Fahd Causeway a couple of times, in fact, connecting Dammam to Bahrain, and it was a delight to travel on that highway. The full form, of course, is the Atal Vihari Vajpayee Seva Nahava Sheva Atul Setu in the satellite township of Navi Mumbai. Now, it will definitely be a very, very good connecting factor between Sevri and to Nahava Sheva. And not just that, it will also provide a very, very good connectivity to Mumbai Pune from there, from one side, and to the beautiful Mumbai Goa highway on the other side as well. So a long connectivity like this, it will not only just improve the infrastructure, but it will give rise to economic growth, to tourism, to employment, and to a whole lot of things in development. And what you said was very right. I think it's another feather in the cap for the government to have given a push to something which was stalled for 6 decades. I mean, imagine 6 decades, and now finally we are able to do it. So it only goes to prove a point that when there's a will, there's a way. So here they have carved out a way. And in the army, when I was serving in the army, we would follow one principle, which meant when there's no way, you create your own way. So there were times when we used to be patrolling in the jungles. We used to take out a commando knife and we used to make our own way in the jungle. Here, the government has actually made the way for people to make life simpler for them. Actually, Mumbai, as we all know, is the commercial capital. The film industry is there. The whole lot of things are there. Attraction is there.
Ali, if you can hear me, how much of this of a credit would you also like to give to the Prime Minister?
Well, I would definitely give him a lot of credit for that. There's no doubt about it. He's been a great leader, and he has. It's commendable work. And I'm sure the Prime Minister, being the modest man that he is, and of course, he would give the entire credit to his team. And I would give, it's always a teamwork. So I would say it is a whole lot of teamwork, and it is the people of the nation who have voted for him, and the people of the nation, he's a public figure, the people of the nation I would attribute it as a success to every single person who was involved, the stakeholder, of course, and every single Indian to have contributed in their own bit of way, and to you as well, Vineet, to you and your channel for covering it so well.
Right. And Joyita, do you think this is also a case study in bureaucratic and red tape hurdles that often mar and obstruct and impede the path of growth in our country, which has happened for so long? This could actually be a case study in that. Something that was lying idle and stale for the past 60 years saw some sort of a resurgence and completion in less than 7 years.
You see, this is what happens. I mean, when you have got a strong government at the helm, and that really helps, because when there are no pressures from, say, allies, and the government is in a position where you're right about these bureaucratic hurdles, because this is what happens when the government is, can actually get decisions implemented. Because trust me, we all know, when it comes to that so-called steel frame of ours, the bureaucrats are totally hidebound, and the majority of them are hidebound, and they have got certain ideas and all, So in all, I would say at all levels of the policy establishment, there are people who believe in certain things, and when anybody comes into power and they want to try and change it, the first hurdle they face is from the bureaucrats, who want certain things done in a certain way, and they do not believe, they have been kind of too imbued in some different kind of an ideology. They believe in maybe too much of socialism, as a result of which they are not willing to even work. So that is why you need strong government, so that you can override such hurdles that are put up by these people, and to ensure that these works can get done. And it's not just about infrastructure building, all these things, at every level of governance, this is applicable. So I would say, even for that matter, even when Prime Minister first came to power in 2014, there was a lot of opposition from the bureaucratic circles inside the government, but he has been able to make them work what exactly he wants to do. And I think that's a tremendous achievement. And frankly, citizens like us, I'm sorry, Ali, we have not done anything. Now we have done zero. So I don't see any reason why we should be congratulated for this bridge being built in Maharashtra.
Gautam, Joyita has made a very important point. It's obviously the will and the intention of the government. Hold on, Ali. It's also the will and the intention of the government, but at the same time, you have to have federal SOPs which define these timelines. Do you think that is still missing from the system?
That for me?
Yeah.
I think what Modi has done is he's refined the process of using the bureaucracy itself to get things done. He sorted this out in his nearly 20 years in Gujarat, and has used the same method, quite often using top-class Gujarati administrators in the PMO and in key places. And so the old ways of bureaucratic obstacles have been removed by using different people who are more dynamic. And in fact, in his case, it is less reliance on the politicians around him, even the cabinet, and more on the bureaucracy, and using them to do what they know how to do, but often didn't because of one constraint or the other. Now, so Modi has actually got the bureaucracy to move. There is also some degree of reform happening. It is going to be a slow process, because there is simultaneously affirmative action to bring up a lot of people into the government who otherwise might not have made it. But all in all, that is also necessary, as long as things get done and the very major thing is he arranges the finance. His diplomacy, the Japanese help is involved not only in this road, I think in the Delhi-Bombay Expressway, of which I had the pleasure of traveling up to Dausa. It is unbelievable. It's so beautiful, that road. And the bullet train coming up, all of this has involved a high degree of very cheap finance from the Japanese, which has come purely because of Modi's relationship with the late Prime Minister, and which has carried on into the present administration. The Americans and the World Bank, IMF, etc., have also, of course, traditionally and always helped. India is one of the best paymasters in the world. They are a delight to lend money to because it always comes back on time. And, most of the multilateral lending agencies are only too keen to lend money to India. Now, this is another thing. The old days we used to say, oh, how can we do this? We don't have the money. We're a poor country. We're not a poor country. We never were a poor country. It was an excuse. And now that excuse is exposed. And we are, as citizens, getting used to the idea that the sky is the limit.
Right. Ali, almost out of time. Obviously, Joyita feels that citizens are not to be given any credit for this. You wanted to respond to that?
Well, I wanted to respond to that. I had a very befitting reply to that, Reed. But since you broke the rhythm, you brought in Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, and I agree with Mr. Gautam Mukherjee's points completely. So I would like to say something more to just that. I think the property prices in Mumbai, firstly, they are going to go skyrocketing. They already are on the rise, and with this, most certainly it's a very, very good development. But now there are many other pertinent points. But if I have to respond once again, if I go back with my thought process to what Joyita said, I strongly believe in it that the society will not change unless and until we change our own selves. The first step is the change starts from here. As we say, the journey to 1,000 steps, to 1,000 miles begins with a single step. As Majid Sultanpuri rightly put it, मैं तो अकेले ही चलाता जाने पे मंजिल, मगर लोग साथ आते गए और कारवां बनता गया. So the very fact is, if we say we are not doing anything, then we will not do anything. We have to.
All right, Joyita wants to respond to what you've just said. Joyita, out of time.
Well, the only thing I think that we citizens can take credit of is, yes, our tax money has helped in building the bridge. Beyond that, I definitely did not carry a brick or mix brick and that cement and or plan the bridge. So sorry, I'm not going to take credit for the bridge. Maybe Ali will. I am not.
Okay. Not sure if Ali did that as well, but nevertheless, it's been an open conversation towards a subject and an area where India obviously needs to take immense pride, and of course, this goes without any ambiguity that the government should be given credit.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.